Right. Hello and welcome to everybody once again. Thanks very much, Lee, for joining us for a pre-match press conference of this tough game against Halifax the weekend. Just firstly, how's training been this week? Has it been good?
Yeah, we're sort of confident at the moment. Although we've lost our last two, we're confident in what we're doing, and lads enjoy each other's company. So training's been good for a while now, anyway. And yeah, we're going to this week with confidence as well.
And just looking back to the last game, you were pretty proud of the boys' efforts after the York game, and I suppose you'll have had a chance to just check out a bit of the video and do some, looking back over that game and ready for the game this weekend.
Yeah. Well, it was a good effort on Sunday against York. They've obviously got some high-profile quality players in there, and I thought for the quite large parts of the game we kept them quiet and we looked on a par with them, to be honest. And it was only the last try, really, with a couple of minutes to go, that sort of sealed the deal. So no, we've got to take heart from that. It's a similar sort of challenge this week for us. A lot of big names and heavily recruited players in the Halifax team, and we expect them to come absolutely desperate for a win, which they are. And they're going to be right on it. So we need to match that. We need to be right on it ourselves to give ourselves a chance of getting some points in this game.
And how do the Halifax differ from York? I suppose they will provide different challenges for us to face, really.
Well, each team's different, although a lot of us play a similar sort of style. It's just sort of the individuals that seem to change week to week. And, like I said, Halifax have recruited. I think they will hit form at some point. The longer it goes on, they've had quite a big turnover of players from even last year. But they lost quite a few lads that had been there quite a few years, sort of stalwarts at the club, and they're just probably taking time really to find the feet with new players in there and new combinations. And it'll probably take half a season for you to see the real Halifax, but they will hit form at some point. I just hope it's not on Sunday.
And there seems to be, obviously, with the new branding that they had in the off season, a real sort of hype around the club at the moment, and I suppose that can take you a long way. We've had our our good moments in sort of off season and doing things with our supporters, and we know how sort of what a bounce that can have really on the team, on the field.
Yeah, it's all about on the pitch. I mean, you can call your club what you want. It's all about what happens on the pitch, to be honest. Yeah, they went for a rebrand. They threw the hat in to be part of the Super League talk as well, although I think they pulled out in the end. But yeah, it's another club that put themselves in the picture for that. Like I said, big turnover of players, but they've invested heavily in that playing squad. There's quite a few lads who were knocking about in Super League last year or on the fringes, and yeah, it's a good list of names when you go through the squad. For whatever reason, it hasn't quite happened yet, but I know it will do. But yeah, it's all what happens on the pitch. Like I say, it's you can call yourself what you want, really. It's how you perform and results on the field that count, and that's how it should be, and that's how it is in this country. When you look at the league tables, there's promotion, relegation. It doesn't matter what you're called. If you finish in the bottom two, you'll go down. If you finish in the top six, you're in the playoffs. And Halifax is certainly aiming for being in those top few spots. That's what they've spent the money for. And to do that, they probably do need to win this week, just so they don't leave themselves too much to do. And they'll be coming to us, really, really desperate for the 2 points or the win percentage or whatever it is now.
One player that was sort of new in the squad for the York game was Windrow. We've had on loan from Halifax, Wakefield, for a couple of weeks. Just tell us a little bit about him and sort of how long he might be around for.
Yeah, well, We were struggling last week in certain positions for some players. Luckily, a couple of lads pulled through, but in the back row we're a bit short, so we've got Dane in for a couple of weeks. So he's available for this week, and then we'll just have to speak to Wakefield after that. He's only young, so it just depends what their plans are with him. They helped us out. Like I say, we were short on bodies really going into last week's game, and we probably still are going into this one. So we were fortunate that we could sort of borrow Dane for a couple of weeks. Good for him that he gets to see what it's about at this level and at first team level. And I think it'll be better for last week's game as well.
And is there any longer term injuries that definitely won't make the Halifax fixture?
We don't have any long terms, no. There's a few players that are unavailable for this week for injury and sort of isolating reasons again. That'll clear up in the next few weeks, but at the moment, yeah, we're down on bodies a bit. But yeah, I'm still confident that we've got enough within the squad to cope with it. And a couple of bounces of the ball differently on Sunday against York, and we come away with that one. We've probably played one not so great half of rugby out of the 4 games, which is probably the first half against Bradford. So we've got to keep going with what we're doing and keep making those slight improvements. And I feel like we're doing that. It's just you are playing good opposition most weeks. It's a tough old league, as everyone keeps saying. But if you get it right, you can beat anybody. If you get it wrong, you can lose against anyone, and that's no different this week. If we get everything bang on, we've got a chance of beating Halifax, and we've got a chance of beating all the sort of bigger clubs and the top teams in this division. But yeah, you've got to be really good to give yourself a shout at doing that.
I don't think anybody's been surprised with how tight the league has actually been this year. Everybody just seems to be like, we've seen some really crazy results in the first couple of weeks, haven't we? Really, from high-scoring ones to very close ones being draws, and then some teams beating other teams that you just wouldn't have expected. So it's been a real mixed bag, really, for the first few weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty even. I think obviously what might have been a better squad on paper last year is not necessarily so now with 12 months of no action and a very disruptive pre-season. So you'll probably see I don't know, 7 or 8 games in what it's actually going to be like probably when people hit form. But you might just find that length of time off, players that you signed with a view to them being your star man might not actually be as good as when you first signed him. That 12 months off, it makes such a difference. When players are injured or away from the game for a year and then come back, sometimes they're just not the same. And that's what you might be finding with some players and some clubs. But yeah, we can only concentrate on ourselves, and we know that if we get everything right, we've got a chance of doing something on Sunday.
No, thanks very much once again, Lee, for joining us this week, and I'll speak to you once again after the Halifax game.
No worries. Cheers, Steve.